Pod Jak'd, episode 31. I'm getting ready to interview the Catfishman. And I want to call him right now. See if he's ready. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. What's up?
Hey, what's up? What are you using? A microphone or
Yeah. I'm using my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the audio won't come out that good, but you know what? It's all right. It's okay.
All right.
All right, so I already started the recording. I just did a show about you. I'm not sure if you found it from searching. So if you type in Catfishman, my show comes up, and it's like at the top. And I'm not sure if that's how you found it, but you recently commented on a video of mine, and I realized that was your. Is that your channel? I guess it is, right? Random shit. That's your channel.
It's my YouTube channel. Well, the YouTube channel is, that's what it is. It's just random, because it's blackpill, like blackpill. It's just diverse. It's not like other blackpill channels. I try to make it diverse so it could be kind of fun, and then it could be like a little bit of fun. So.
Yeah, and so that's. I just found out about you like just a week ago. I wish I knew about you from years ago. Did you used to post all the videos? Did you take them down, or would you just post snippets?
Explain to you how that happened? It's like a huge backstory on how it happened.
Yeah, we did a backstory.
Do that with you?
Yeah, you did a backstory, but I wanted to know, like, did you used to post all the videos though, like all the?
Yeah, I'll get on to. I was never on 4chan. That's not me. I was never on 4chan.
So the guy who was reading the Catfishman, that was somebody else. I didn't feel him because I was like, if that was you too, I was like, wow, that was that. But so, did you get the name Catfishman? Or was that just a coincidence that someone else used the same name, or?
How it happened was, I was on an incel Discord, and somebody gave me that name. I was like, oh, cool, I'll just take it. I was like, yeah, Catfishman. But I didn't know I never knew who Catfishman was, because at the time it wasn't big. I don't know how it started with, the incel. It wasn't big. It didn't go mainstream. It was kind of hush-hush at the time. Like YouTube never had their algorithm to like MGTOW, incel. So I found incel through other means. Like it was through anti-PUA, because I used to be a pickup artist. And then I heard about like a long time ago, I heard about the anti-pickup artist, but I didn't take it seriously until I started to do my own approach, until I figured out it was kind of bullcrap. It's just with the pickup artists, it's just a bunch of bullcrap, because they don't tell you things that you need to know. They're not going to tell you about rejections. They're not going to tell you preferences of females. Let's say you talk to a Hispanic girl or white girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know about the race pill, right?
The race pill. I heard of
race pill is it's just the black pill, but it's a race pill where your race is kind of against you. You were talking about that with race, so that's the race pill. So okay. a lot of pickup artists don't understand the race pill. They don't talk to you about the race pill. They don't talk about your racial advantage or disadvantage. Like for example, I've had it harsh with Hispanic girls over time. I kind of noticed that, and I had some success, but there are some Hispanic girls who are just like, for example, my mom, she's Hispanic and she dated a white man, so that's the race pill. Like when I was kind of young, and I didn't understand what the race pill was until I started to understand preferences of females. Hispanic, white women. You know how you're saying about white women go for black guys.
Yeah.
That's the race pill.
Okay.
That's why race pill is very important, like you wouldn't want to go for a woman that doesn't like you, right? Like you would want to go for a woman that likes you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you understand how a woman goes for you for a certain race, let's say, some white guys, they can deal with certain girls, or, black guys, Asian guys, you would understand that this goes into like rejections. I'm able to manage not to get rejected, understand certain toxic women. I've had it, like with Hispanic women, certain types of Hispanic women just gave it to me harsh. So I was able to understand like the race pill and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, as far as me goes, like I'm half Cuban, and Hispanic girls would always disqualify me and say they don't like me because I don't speak Spanish. When my mom
never learned. That's bullcrap. Yeah, it's bullcrap. No,
yeah,
lying. They're lying. They're lying.
I was just gonna say they would say that, but then they would date a black guy who doesn't speak the language. So
no. That's the race pill. They're lying to you. They're lying. I mean, that guy's saying that's the race pill. Yeah, of course, Hispanic girls are gonna date black guys. Yeah. I've learned this because some guy told me too in my area that he was black, and he was getting a lot of dates here in Washington, and then a lot of white guys here too in Washington. A lot of white guys are able to talk to Hispanics. It's seldom. It depends. It's seldom, unless you look really good.
Yeah.
And you notice some of the guys, right? Some of the black guys, were they good or were they ugly?
Well, here's the thing. Most of the Hispanic girls were average to below average looking. I've seen only maybe 2 or 3 instances where the Spanish girl was above average, but I would say most of them were just average, below average looking. And the black guys were just regular looking black guys. They were average. That's why I said in my city, average looking black guys can pull hotter girls here. I challenge any black guy to come here and date for a while, and you can get not just the old stereotype was true. Like when I first moved here, it was nothing but really nasty, ugly, fat white girls with black guys. But over the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, I've seen really good-looking white girls with black guys. Really good looking.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the race, but like it gets complicated. I've dated white girls. I've dated a couple white girls, and it gets really complicated with that. Most of it is a fetish. It's a race fetish. The white girls. I had an interview with the black guy. He's posted on Lookism. He told me that it's a certain subsection of women that do that. Not all white girls do that, but it's a certain subsection of women that do that because it's based off liberal. It's based off like feminism, liberal culture. Mm-hmm. It's just the whole thing is just liberal. Like all the liberal women date that type of men, regardless of race. So, like I said, Hispanic women, white women. It's just a race fetish. I mean, they're doing it because they think black guys, they have more masculine qualities. I mean, they're estrogenic, so they're gonna want to date black guys because they're more masculine, and how the stereotype with black guys, right?
Yeah, they're good dancers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And they're really good at stealing TVs.
Well, yeah. Well, either way, it's just not all women do that, man. Not all white women, but it's just their values on how they were raised. For example, let's say my mom, she's a Hispanic woman. She did it based off money, but she just didn't like the Hispanic culture no more. So she found an opportunity to date a couple white men because she found it as SMV. So they were more higher status on my dad's side, my dad. So that's the reason why is, based off, the status, based off, perception, image. I've dated white girls that thought I was Hispanic or they thought I had an image. But once I became too Americanized, it turned them off. Trust me, it turns them off. You have to put on an image. And I just find it disgusting. Like I don't like to do that. I've had instances where, they liked you for an image, and it's not a good thing, because once you show that image and once you show who you are as a person, they just won't like you for who you are, basically. I mean, some guys might take it, but for me, I kind of learned that, and then I know it's just how it is, just an image thing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they want more of a ghetto Hispanic guy. Maybe you're too preppy for them, or they want a guy.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, that is true. That's true, because you gotta look at it like Americanized guy. They're too opinionated. With them, how feminists are. You know how some guys don't like masculine girls. It's just because I'm too opinionated. They want someone like that, and and it's just, I find it like, I wish I should have known. I kind of, that's why I think the black pill is important, because I wish I should have known when I was younger how it was. I try to talk to a few white girls, and I had one white girl say that I was not a Hispanic, I was not the right type of Hispanic, because she knew I acted too white.
Yeah, but at the same time as well, this, that if a woman isn't attracted to you, they'll make any excuse. Like, for example, they'll say, "Oh, you're too young." Like, a girl could be, let's say, 32, and you could be 28. She's like, "Yeah, but you're too young." But if she met some 28-year-old, surfer Chad or some shit like that, she would probably fuck his brains out. But because she's not attracted to you, she's gonna say, "Yeah, but you're too young, sweetie. I'm sorry. I'm looking for a guy my age or older." So they're using any excuse in the book, whether it's your person, some sort of bullshit personality. How I found out about you, this guy Smooth Sanchez, he does IRL live streaming. He commented on one of your videos. I was interviewing him, and he's only 17, and he does live stream. He does PUA, but he like trolls, and he talks about St. Elliot, Elliot Rogers, and he runs around New York saying it out loud. He does like real crazy shit. And
is he? I think I saw a video of him. Was he the one that stopped a jogger, like a female jogger, and he was saying he pulled out a paper?
Yeah. So he was making white people kneel, and he was showing people. Yeah. He's only 7, but this kid though, for his age, he's 17, and he knows a lot of shit. Like, he's half my age. I'm 34. And he knows about the black pill. He knows about incels. He knows this about looks. Like, I didn't find out about this stuff to my late 20s. I was doing PUA for like a good 8 years, getting rejected like crazy, and then
wait. Yeah. So you were This is really good. This is getting really good, because this is good because man, this is good. We're gonna have a good conversation, but. I was in the PUA. Well, I was in PUA back in mystery. The mystery method, right?
Yeah, that's how I found that. That's how I found out about it.
Yeah, me too. And well, before that, I didn't normally approach. Mm-hmm. Back it was in the 2000s with MySpace. I had some success. I had some dates, and it was more easier back then. But I found out mystery because of that, because of the VH1. You know about the VH1 thing, right?
Yeah, that's same thing with me. I found out about the show, then I downloaded the book, and then I found a layer meeting, and then I went to the layer meetings, and I met these other guys, and that's how.
Were you? Wait, I could have sworn you weren't in the reality show, were you?
Oh no, man! No, I was never on television.
Oh, because there's this one guy I remembered. He was a white guy. Caucasian guy, and he was in the whatchamacallit. I thought because I remember he was like a short guy, and I thought he was you. Like, he was a short. Well, I don't know if you know who he was. But...
I'm 5'11". I'm not tall, but I'm also not that short either. But I wasn't. That wasn't me.
Yeah, no. So basically, I saw the first season, and I thought, oh man, this looks awesome. So. For the second season, I applied for the second season, and I had I had auditioned. I made an audition tape.
Okay.
I took it off on the YouTube because with what is that? With the children's thing, on YouTube they're doing with the children.
Oh yeah, like, COPA or something.
Yeah. I was kind of scared because I thought they were gonna like get me because it wasn't under my account. It was through another account, so I had to take it off. But I was auditioning for that, and I didn't get into it. And I think I know why, because I wasn't nerdy enough. You know, I was too, because they wanted nerdy ass guys.
Yeah, but so the first season. So
later on, I was with the MySpace thing. I was actually kind of killing it in the MySpace scene. You know, I was dating on MySpace. I met a lot of girls on MySpace, and then I was in for a while. I was in a long-term relationship for 4 years, and then that's when I started noticing a couple things, what's going on with the women. I didn't know what it was until I started to kind of get fired from my jobs because of the sexual harassment thing. And I started noticing with a lot of things with a lot of women, how they were acting towards me. I didn't know if it was my race, but I think it was, most of it was my race, but I think some of the women had this feminist idea, because one of my bosses back in 2014, she was taking the women's side, so and that's when I started to, you know, I was like, what's going on? You know, I was kind of having issues with a lot of girls. I was getting rejected, and then that's when I started to approach, and I started, you know, I got blown out basically. You know, I approached a couple girls, and you know, I got laid like that. But it was then until I started kind of approaching around town, I started to kind of understand. I was like, okay, so if this thing doesn't work, what's going on? And that's how I found out with the with the PUA, with the anti PUA stuff.
Yeah, so it sounds like to me you did better than most guys. Like, I didn't get laid at all. Like, I didn't hang out with a girl or kiss a girl or anything until I was 23, and it was on Craigslist, and she was like really below average looking white chick. She, like, her belly hung over her panty line. She had kids. She had like really saggy titties.
Well, and, it's because it's also location. My area, I think Washington is more easier. So it's more of a, I don't know how to say it. It's more of like a chill vibe, or it's just, I think I would have been more I would think I would have had more struggle if I was in like Southern California, or if I was in New York. Most of my successes were over here in Washington and in the Pacific Northwest. So I didn't feel it as much as I did until I started to kind of have kind of issues over here with what was going on, and then that's how I found out with lookism, basically.
Yeah, but like I said, it seemed like you were doing better than most guys. Like, you had a 4-year, you know, because you hear guys being like, "Oh, I'm 30, and I never had anything." So it seemed like you were doing better than most guys. What happened where you decided, you know, to go in person and actually not only stood the girl up? Because I don't know if you listened to the episode of Pod Jak'd where I talked about you, but I stood up a girl, and, you know, using a fake profile, and I wish that I did it to a girl that treated me like shit. I wish I did it to a girl that I went on a date with, or a girl that I talked to. But unfortunately, I did it to a random girl, and I did feel bad afterwards because she waited for like 2 hours. But like, what made you decide to like when you're just getting rejected like crazy, like you hit a plateau, and what made you decide to actually like show up and go, I gotta film this, and I gotta throw it in their face, and I gotta, you know, that whole thing?
Well, it just happened. It was just like I said, I was in the PUA stuff. And I was trying to figure out, you know, why I was getting rejected. And I remember it was like correlated to what you're saying with that girl that you stood up. I remember there was a girl that I kind of asked out her number. I kind of asked for a number, and I got her number, and then she kind of ghosted me. And then what happened is I saw her on Tinder. You know, with the Tinder thing. At the time, I wasn't too familiar with Tinder until I started to kind of play with it before I kind of confronted the females. And I saw her on Tinder, and then she I don't know, I think she matched with the guy, and I was like, okay, so it doesn't make sense. She's on Tinder, she matched with the guy, but she gave me her number. To me, it makes sense. So that's when I started to kind of ask questions, figure things out, and then that's when I was on Lickism, because I started, before I started doing these complications, I kind of was catfishing the women on Tinder, setting up, fake random profiles on how the guys were, and then I posted the picture. I started posting the video. I posted a couple videos on Lickism and PUA hate, and then that's when I got the reception, and then a couple guys, like a couple people, just said, "Hey, why don't you just approach the girl?" And that's how it happened. They said, "Why don't you just confront a girl next time?" I was like, "Oh, okay," and that's how it happened. So, I mean, that's how my PUA come in. My PUA came in. My low inhibition. You know what low inhibition is, right?
No.
It's basically like person that's confident. They're confident. They, balls are big or whatever. But then that's when I said, okay, I'll put my PUA thing to use, and that's when I started to kind of approach. You saw the first one, right? The Landwell one, right?
Was it the dark one? It was like I saw the top 10 of your list.
There was a one called the Landwell one.
Yeah,
she was like my second catfish video, and then that's when I came up to her. I don't know. I think she was number 2, where I kind of asked her about Chad. I was like, "Are you waiting for Chad?" And then the funny thing with that one, she matched with Chico. Chico, Francisco Lachowski, right?
No.
Yeah, he was a male model.
Okay.
I used his pictures first, and I matched with her, and I didn't get to confront her at first, and then I confront her a second. I went to confront her, the second time when I used Jeff Seed. He's a bodybuilder, and then that's when I was asking, with the PUA, PUA stuff, right? Go up to a girl and say, "Oh, you have a boyfriend, you have a number." That's what I did, and she was like saying, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend," and I'm like, "Okay, you have a boyfriend, but you're on Tinder." Like that. That's how it came about when I started posting on Lookism, basically.
Yeah, my favorite thing about those videos, I love your laugh. It's very Joker, very like diabolical laugf. You really took joy in what you did.
It's like my signature.
Yeah, you got catfished. It's kind of like the show Punked, except it was catfish, and you said almost like a phrase. You're like, "You got catfished," and I love the joy. It was great. But like I said, yeah, we have both, kind of like similar backgrounds, except I think according to what you're saying, you've done, way better as far as.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. Well, to an average guy like yourself, it sounds way better. But you gotta look at it in a different perspective. We all know how a chat is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say a chat, let's say a Chad, like an actual Chad. I mean, there's Chads out there, man. The guys will slay as hell. Trust me. I'm not the only one out there that can slay, but there's actual Chads.
Yeah.
Think of it as the Tinder experiments, right? Where like a guy who's good looking, he can get tons of matches on Tinder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, magnify that by a tenfold. And that mine is not even much. It's nothing. You gotta look at the effort I had to put in, the weight loss. It took me quite a while to understand how it is. And then on top of that, with the black pill, it helps it. Like the black pill, a lot of people don't understand the black pill. The black pill, actually, a lot of people don't understand it. The black pill actually helps guys a lot dealing with certain females. Like that. Like that one female you've talked to, the black girl, the black girl, right?
Oh, which one?
Remember you said you met her with the black girl and she was standing you up.
Oh yeah. The black girl stood me up. Yeah, from Plenty of Fish. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, you deal with that type of thing. Like it gets really it gets down to it. The black pill gets more complicated. It has a MGTOW philosophy in a sense, because if you look at it, it kind of correlates to MGTOW. Like the black pill is not just nihilistic. It's mostly about how you deal with certain women, toxic women. Understand manipulation. Understand when you're going to get rejected. Understand when you're going to get put in the friend zone. Understand. It gets really. That's what I'm saying. Is the black pill isn't. You're on a, like, for me, I'm on a whole different level compared to the MGTOWs and then the black pillars. Like you seen my channel, right?
Yeah, I saw. I watched the documentary. I watched that today.
No, not the documentary. But I have other things about like one-nightish issues, about female nature.
I've seen all those videos. I've seen the catfish videos, the documentary, and a couple other videos. I haven't got a chance to really watch.
No. The catfish videos are they're good. I mean they're good for the black pill, but it's hard to explain. I mean you gotta understand, on certain nuances with certain women.
What videos?
Like you said, you got to understand them if they find you attractive, or you got to understand, there's a reason with rejections. I mean, yeah, it's a rejection, but at the end of the day, that rejection you're dealing with, you don't have to mess with your emotions. You don't have to mess with one-nightish issues. You don't have to. It's just how certain women are. You got to understand how certain women are. I've dealt with a lot of women in the workplace who are toxic, who try to get me for false allegations. That's where the MGTOW thing comes in, right? Understand what the MGTOW.
Yeah.
You know how MGTOWs talk about false allegations. So that's what I'm saying. Is the black pill is it gets down really complex, and a lot of people don't understand what the black pill is, basically.
Yeah. So what videos would you recommend on your channel aside from the the catfish videos?
Well, I have a lot of things that are entertainment, but I also have things that are talk about friend zone, one-nightish. I also talk about escorting. Like I'm really against escorting. You don't ever want to pay for an escort, because most of the women who you're messing with, they have nothing for you. Let's say they have nothing for you. Like most of the escorts don't have, they don't like you. So why would you want to pay for a woman that doesn't see you as nothing, like you're a thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I made a hooker video. I don't know if you saw it or not. My first time with a hooker, and
that's what I'm saying. Is a lot of these escorts, they're messing with guys that are not even attractive. And why would you want to talk to an escort that's, with a pimp, or has a pimp, or who is with guys who are not even attractive? That's like saying, like you're literally paying for her to just be by you, and she doesn't like you like that. For me, I don't like. I used to see escorts, but I decided I was figuring out. I felt so disgusted. I felt so disgusted seeing an escort, and I was like, ew, what is this feeling? Until I found out, why I shouldn't see an escort, because they don't like you like that. So why would you want to? Like, are you just hurting yourself at the end? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think some guys should go to hookers. The guys who just they complain, like, you've been late before. You know what I mean? Saying so.
No. Yeah, but still, even if I didn't get laid, I would not still see a hooker, because, like I said, it's meaningless. Like, why would you want to sleep with someone who is just subjected to your subhumanity?
Yeah, but some guys would just, who never been laid before, they think it's this magical thing. They don't realize that once they actually hook up with a girl, especially if they're not attracted to her or like her, you don't really feel much afterwards. It's just meaningless sex. They don't realize that. They think it's everything. Like Elliot Rodgers, he killed himself, as you know, at 22.
Well, yeah, he was I'm not trying to hate, but he was that's what I'm saying is
Well, he never got laid
women,
before.
I'm not trying to be a beta cuck, but like that's kind of a cope. Like hating on women is kind of coping because oh man, I don't want to say this. Like I'm not trying to sound white pill, but that's what I'm saying is the black pill kind of helps you realize your value as a man. Like, for example, would you hate on someone that's inferior towards you? Would you hate on someone that's kind of like a retard? Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I'm saying Elliot Rodger. I understand where he came from because I was in his shoes. I understand loneliness, mental loneliness, but kind of hating on a woman is kind of a waste of time because you have, I don't know how to explain it, but I came to the point to realize there's no point in hating women because you got to put yourself as a man. MGTOW philosophy, right? MGTOW philosophy. You know about MGTOW, right?
Yeah.
How they proselytize, saying put yourself first.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put all your energy on hating, on your anger, or you can just accept it and kind of move on with your life. I guess. What's that saying with Tupac? They're the same with Tupac, where he said, that video with Tupac, right, where it says hoes getting horny and niggas die. That saying where he talks about how the nice guys get treated, last. You've seen that video, right?
I saw a documentary with him talking about how women treated him like shit till he got famous.
Yeah, well, that's true, but there's something where Tupac said when hoes get horny, niggas die. We gotta stop giving all these females attention. So basically, what he meant was, oh man, it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to explain it, but it's in a sense, it's like we're killing ourselves over women for no reason. We got to put ourselves first as a guy. That's where the MGTOW philosophy comes in. That's really the reason behind MGTOW philosophy. We're putting ourselves first as men. Women are women. They do their own thing. So for me, I have things. That's why I have a YouTube channel. That's why I play chess. That's why I work out. I feel lonely and sad, but I'm not gonna, fucking kill people and get angry about it. I'm gonna do stuff for my own self as a guy, basically. I totally understand. Yeah, he was mad because he couldn't get a white woman, like Elliot Rodger couldn't get a hot blonde white girl, but there's nothing he can do out of his control, basically.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys, that my theory about them is they don't have anything else in life that makes them happy. They put all their happiness into women, thinking women are going to make them happy. And for example, for me, like I love comedy, and as I said before, I'm never going to make it in comedy, but I try to make people laugh, and I try to do comedic things, like one of the enjoyments I have. And some guys really have nothing. There's nothing that makes them happy. They just,
it's because it's how they were raised. Like I guess we were brainwashed in society to think of one thing. And to me, I just take it from my past and how I was able, how I was lonely. I take it from my past and do things for myself because there was times in my past where I had to figure out what to do, and that's where I kind of got these things, these ideas. That's where the creativity in my YouTube channel comes in because I'm more open-minded. That's where the black pill helps, in a sense. It helps you become more open-minded. See, this is what a lot of guys don't understand. That's why we live in a kind of a cuck society. A lot of men don't understand. I remember, weren't you the one talking about? I don't know if it was you or somebody else about how you go in the gym. I forgot. I think it was Sandman or someone about going to the gym, and guys go to the gym because of girls. You go for the gym for your kind of yourself, in a sense.
Yeah, I never said that. It just must have been somebody else. But that picture.
Yeah, it was Sandman. He was talking to Coach Greg Adams about the gym and how he was talking about what is that called? What is that called? how some people, they have women come into the club, or they come into like a male space, and they gravitate towards it. So that's where Sandman was talking about. So.
Mm-hmm. So that you did an interview for that show. This is why we're incel. Was that you on the video?
Which one?
You did a podcast. If you type in, Catfishman, there's an interview you did with This Is Why We're Incel podcast, and there's a picture of a guy with a white tank top. Is that you?
Oh yeah, that was actually me. That was me when I was taking pictures of gym selling. That's when I was gym selling at the time. So I wanted to see how I looked with the tank top.
Okay, so like I said, and then in the documentary, you look heavier. So you gained weight. So like, were you depressed? Like, was that after your girlfriend? You broke up? Did you get depressed and start like eating and stop working out? Like, how did you get? How did you lose? How did you gain the weight, and then how did you lose the weight?
Well, it's because it takes time. Like I said, it takes time losing weight. So at the time, I was in document. I was like depressed, and I was gaining weight, and I didn't have a purpose. So that's what happened, and I didn't realize what they were doing. I didn't realize the guys in the BBC what they were doing. Like, they were taking these cheap shots of me, and I didn't understand what they were doing until I saw it, and I didn't know that they were trying to get bad part of me. If I knew that, I would have lost a little bit more weight, but yeah, I was heavy at the time, so.
So how did you lose the weight? Like, what were some of the first things you did?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that it takes time, man. Like, it's just a lot of motivation, a lot of what's that called? Motivation, a lot of dedication. So I have to kind of it just takes time. Like that picture for me in the tank top, that was like 3 years. It was back in 2015 or 16.
Okay. Yeah, so once again, I looked at that picture. I was like, oh, this, people were saying in the comments, you're not a bad looking guy. But see, that's the thing, is like, there's a lot of average. Being average is just not good enough these days. There's a lot of average, and even a few above average looking guys that, can't pull anything. Even above average looking guys. And it shows how picky these women are, and I wish they would just be more honest. And like, when they put, in their profile, you must be 6'3", I'm fine with that, because they're letting you know right away they want a super tall guy. And they should just put on their profile they want a male model, or they want you to get them 1 million Instagram followers, or they want a rich guy, or a hunk, or whatever, or a black guy. Just put whatever you want. Just don't waste your time.
The thing is, if they do that, you gotta understand, it just depletes their options. That's what I'm saying. That's where the blackpill comes in. That's what I'm saying. The blackpill is just, to me, I've dealt with a lot of women. I've dealt with a lot of females. I've dealt with a lot of rejection. So to me, I can instinctively know. By instincts, I already know where a woman's going to come from. I already know what her reaction is. So you got to understand, if a woman is that too honest, they're not going to take her seriously.
I think it's more of that, it's the whole judgment thing. Like, they're saying, oh, I don't want guys judging me and all that stuff. Like, they come off as shallow and materialistic.
Yeah, but it also kills their dating prospects. Like if you, like, for example, a lot of women don't want to know they're, like, that's what I'm saying. That's where manipulation comes in. That's where a lot of, manipulation strategy comes in. A lot of women are not gonna, like, tell you something if we men are upfront of what we want. I mean, they're just gonna get put off by it. But if a lot of women are upfront, it just kills what their intentions are, basically. So I mean, it does not to do with their being shallow. It's just what the intentions are, what they want to perceive themselves to be.
Yeah. What was one of the worst blowout stories as far as you doing PUA? Like, give me like a really bad blowout story. Like, you get blown out so bad, you feel like a singe in your heart. Like, you feel your heart sink, like, and you get embarrassed. You're just like, whew. Like, give me a bad blowout
I have
story.
a lot, man, but just based off PUA.
Yeah, like approaching, PUA.
I remember I got blown out like 30 times out of like 3 times that I met. So that was like my biggest blowout, is 30 times in a row, because That's what I did one day. I was like, I'm gonna approach the girls. I'm just gonna start to approach women, and then I started kind of approaching in the streets, asking for their numbers, and I just got blown out, basically like that. That's like my biggest blowout is.
Well, I was referring to like a certain moment, because I've been blown out a lot too. But I'm talking about. Where a girl made you feel like a piece of shit, like she just looked at you a certain way, or just said, "Get the fuck away from me."
Well, that's what I'm saying is where a white girl told me I wasn't the right Hispanic. That's what it hurt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's instances where girls gave me the numbers and they say, "Oh, I'm just joking," or "No, I was doing it because I was being nice," like that type of thing.
Yeah, like I said, they've never been that direct with me, but I could just tell, especially with, like I said, Hispanic girls. I never really approached that many Hispanic girls, but only in Latin clubs, like salsa clubs and all that. But like I said,
times where they were dating. I only did day games. I didn't do night games. I did a lot of day games. But I felt with day games, you're more focused on the girl on the day game. So day game, it's more concentrated because you're there. The girl sees you face to face. She sees what you look like, and she makes a decision.
Yeah, I mean, date game, I got a few dates, but I never got anything up. I like doing date game, but I did the whole direct approach thing, and I used to get 3 numbers, and they were all flake back, and then when I would just have a regular conversation with them, I would get at least text back. But I think I already made out with 2 girls on a college campus, but they were really below average looking, like really fat, and which is most of what I got. I only got really chubby girls and fat girls, really. I mean, that's all I really ever got, which I have no problem with. But
that's why I'm kind of against PUA, because it doesn't work, and they lie to you, and they say, let's say, what's that? That guy, that PUA, that Daily Evolution. You heard about him, right? Daily Evolution. He's that white PUA dude.
Is that to do with the accent? He's got kind of like long hair, kind of.
No, that's the other guy, but this Daily Evolution guy, he's always on these YouTube ad videos. The Daily Evolution. He's like some white guy talks about PUA. He had a couple Hispanic girls with him, and he had another girl with him. And I just think it's so fake because, if PUA is so successful, then why are women choosing guys based off preferences? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you ask a pickup artist or a dating coach, hey, how come the good-looking guys don't need PUA? They say, well, looks aren't everything. They just get you to the door. But that's the whole point. The door is her pussy. That's pretty much the whole thing. So they're saying that, well, it's not good. It's not everything. But yeah, but they'll at least give you a chance, and you can't get to the door of success without it being locked.
No, that's bullcrap. I mean, I agree. We both agree that looks get in the door. Regardless, it does get in the door. I don't give a shit. From what I experienced, looks do get in the door. Regardless, there was this one moment where I worked with a coworker, and she gave me this dirty look.
She gave me this dirty look. Like she said, like a look that get away from me. and then I was like, and then when I started to lose weight, she tried to kind of treat me different. And I was like, yeah, you started treating me different after I started to lose weight. So that's why I'm saying is looks either way, looks get you in the door regardless. On dating, social, let's say job interviews, it's the whole thing. Like if you don't have looks, how are you going to conversate with a woman? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing is you're basically putting your foot front in. Like let's say like a fat ugly guy who talks to a girl, it's like comparing yourself to a homeless man, asking for money. Like majority of people are just not gonna talk to the person, or a person's just gonna find them disgusting. So that's why I'm saying, the whole thing is just cope. They're just finding an excuse to sell their fucking product.
Absolutely. And what made you decide to like? What was the last catfish video you did, and what made you decide to stop? Like, what made you? What did you get? Like legal trouble or threats, or was it just?
No, I stopped because of the BBC documentary, but I also stopped because it was too much. You know, I did like around 55, and I just like, yeah, I gotta stop. This is too much. It's too blackpilling. I was like, yeah, it's too much. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you got addicted to it, right? It was like you said you got a rush from it, right? It was like kind of a high for you.
Well, I mean, because I was getting
like a lot of people were like, I was getting a lot of reception with a lot of people. A lot of people were liking it.
And it was on World Star, that one with the blonde hair girl. That was on World Star, right?
Yeah. Well, we could talk about that, next. But it was a lot of people. A lot of people were liking it, and I felt like kind of like an e-boy. I felt like an e-girl because I was getting so much attention, and I was like, yeah, felt so good. Yeah. So I'm trying to make you understand what the e-girls are, right?
E-girls? You talk about the webcam girls and all that stuff?
Yeah, like how e-girls are getting validated by.
Yeah, you were finally getting the attention without having to. I understand that, man. Listen, it's hard. It was hard to give that up, but yeah. So what happened with the World Star girl? Because that's one of the few interactions you can actually see in its entire length.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That was the question. You said you were gonna you were gonna talk about it after.
Well, yeah. What did you want? Did you want to talk about the girl, or did you want to talk?
Oh, I thought you had something to say about it because you said we could talk about that after this next point, and I thought you were gonna elaborate. I thought maybe something else happened in that video. Was that just pretty much it?
Well, no, because I thought you were interested in more about it, because that's why I brought it up.
Oh yeah, well no, I just brought it up because it was on World Star, so that's a big deal because that they usually get a million views a video or something like that, so that's why I brought that up because that was like a classic debate where the girl's saying his personality, and then you tell her, I'm not getting any dates, and she goes, look at the way you're acting right now, and it's like, Tinder's, you don't need a profile at all, it's just
exactly, and even still, even if she was, like, it's kind of hard, like a lot of, that's what I'm saying is that's where the female nature comes in. That's where I'm saying is that's where the catfish videos, I call it a hyper modern way, because you're literally visualizing how the women acting and how they act towards you and how they say stuff, and that's what I'm saying is that's where the catfish videos are. They're effective because it's kind of like a technology thing, right? It's we're using the technology in a sense to kind of capture a moment, and then that's where how some women are, they lie to you or how they act, and because of the catfish videos, because of that, I was able to pinpoint out certain women on how they act towards me, how they act toxic, and that's why that's why that's kind of important that World Star Hip Hop about.
Yes, that's the thing. I remember I got so desperate. I used to go on Craigslist, and I remember a lot of the girls on there, they were really below average looking. I met some of these girls. I actually met a few that were good looking, but that's rare. That's like a unicorn. That's like once every couple of years. But I would meet these really like below average looking girls, and they would say, I'm looking for a tall guy with a big dick and everything. And they would post their just naked body, and they were like out of shape, and just like the first girl I met, like stomach. But I remember this one guy, he made a repost, and he was like, all these bitches on here keep saying that you got to have a car. They don't have a car. They keep saying you got to have your own place. They don't have their own place. They keep saying you got to be good looking. They're fucking ugly as shit. And he made like a really good point. And this was like many years. This before they got rid of the. Well, now that it's still up, but you have to like they put it in the activity section. But this is before they got rid of the sex section and the casual encounters and the dating section. And it was just a really good point. It was just like all these women want something. They all want. Is it Patrice? You know who Patrice O'Neal is?
Yeah, I heard about him.
Well, Patrice O'Neal, he's just a comedian. He passed away. He was a fat black guy. He was more than that. He was really funny. And they quote him a MGTOW all the time, even though he wasn't MGTOW. He had a girlfriend. But one of the things he said is women always want to date something better than them. They would never date anything less. Yeah. Any woman, any guy they're with, he's got to be better than her in some way, whether it's looks, money, status, whatever. And it's really true. If you look at any guy they're with, I was watching this live streamer, Mexican Andy, and he was in Scotland, and the women were hideous. Like, they're like kind of like those England women. Like, all of them were like linebackers, obese, and all the dudes they're with were like really average looking guys, and they all were dating these really heavy, just not pretty, ugly girls. And I was like, Scotland and England has some, not all of them, but they have some ugly ass women, man.
Yeah, we talk. I have something to talk about. We'll talk about that next.
You're I'm sorry to cut you off, but your microphone level cut off real low. I'm not sure if you're
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we could actually talk about Mexican Andy and about with the situation with Scotland. I have something to talk about with that. But do you still want to talk about the World Star Hip Hop thing?
Yeah. Do you have something to add to that? Go ahead.
No, I'm just asking you. Did you still want to talk about it, or?
Oh no! I thought you said you had more to talk about. There was a miscommunication. No.
No. I thought you just mentioned no, but yeah, that's what I'm saying is but other than that, it's just like I keep on emphasizing, because the catfish videos, it's just a hypermodern way to understand women a lot better, and that's where the work of hip hop comes in, and like what you saying about the Craigslist thing, vampire. But anyways,
the Craigslist thing, there's some instances where I've had that too, where I've encountered women like that. Not just Craigslist. I've never done the Craigslist, but I've done a lot of online dating, and I've also done, I've also had encounters at work. I have so many stories like that, like you, but they're much more brutal. Like, for example, like I was at a Super Bowl party back in 2014. I remember there's this one chick. She attended the Super Bowl party, and there was a Hispanic girl, and then there was a black girl, and the black girl was more interested in me than the Hispanic girl, but I didn't understand. Like if I knew the black girl was interested, I would have went for it. Yeah. But I was more interested in the Hispanic. But the Hispanic girl, she wasn't that attractive. She was kind of below average. She was attractive. She was good enough to kind of fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
But what happened is it was like a meetup. You know that meetup thing, right?
Yeah.
The meetup. Yeah. So it was like a meetup thing. So the second time I came to the meetup, and it was the white guy and her, and I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay. At the time, I didn't know about the race thing. She probably was with them, or she probably liked the white guy. He was like a bald white guy, and he was. What happened was, after we got done eating, she literally. I tried to kind of ask her out. She was like, I was like, let's hang out again, and she was like, maybe next time. She kind of like blew me off, and I was kind of hurt, but whatever.
Yeah. And what you want to say? I mean, most of the people on this channel, they don't know about Mexican Andy, but he's a live streamer. He's actually, they used to call him an incel. He's 5'4". He's really out of shape. He has acne, but he's got a girlfriend right now. It's kind of like a long distance, but he does have a girlfriend. But he recently just got arrested.
It's not long distance. He was actually with her. He was actually.
I know. But I'm saying that. I know, but I'm saying it's long distance because he's there now. But I'm saying that he has to fly in order to see her. He lives in LA,
So I'm kind of confused. Like, how did he get with her? Is it, like, if she's white, and why did she find him attractive? Like, I'm confused.
You know what? This is what someone told me. You tell me if you agree with this. Oh, by the way, are you in your 30s?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to tell me your exact age. I just want to make sure. I have to feel we're on the same age. But I had an indie guy tell me this. He said that in certain countries like Germany or whatever, some white girls will date even a average, below average looking ethnic guy because they're tired of just looking at the same white guy every day. Like they're tired of just white guys and they want something different. So they'll date a but I'm not sure. I mean, he only has like 34,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't know if that's enough, but I don't know. I mean, I don't find her that attractive. No offense to her. I think for him, she's attractive, but I don't know. I think that because he's a foreign ethnic guy, and in her country, she just sees white guys all day. So she's probably like she wants something different. That's all. That's the only thing I can come up with.
I think there's a solution. I think I figured it out. Kind of. What happened well, he did it based off status. Like if he didn't have any status, she would have not even given him a chance because she's a streamer and he's a streamer. So based off female nature and manipulation, I guess you can call it. She probably thought it was a good idea. But from what I know, and I talked to Mexican Andy myself, and he told me the truth. He told me it was like, yeah, they were friends. Like I guess they were friends, and they're not really going out. I mean, I should have credited, but that's what he told me. So.
But there was a clip of him saying that they're in a long distance relationship, and someone said she's probably getting blacked when you're not there, and he said, "I don't care, I'll still date her," and he still tries to get. And he's still.
I talked to him on Discord one time, and that's what he told me. I was like, "Is this that Mexican Andy?" I was like, "Dude, are you serious?" It was like it is in his gay little voice. He was like, "Yeah, Mexican Andy." I was like, "Dude, like, how did you come in here?" And I was like, he told me he had a girlfriend. I was like, "Dude, you don't have a girlfriend. You're fucking lying." And he was like saying, "Yeah, he had a girlfriend." I was like, "What? What? There's no fucking way." And he was like, and then he showed me, and I was like, "No fucking way! There's no way this dude has a girlfriend." Until I kind of figured it out, I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Because from what I know and what I've experienced with kind of white girls, either way, regardless, white girls, like girls in the UK, are very, very stuck up. You saw that cyclist, right? The cyclist, PUA cyclist.
The psycho.
The cyclist, that bike. Remember the bike rider?
Yeah.
Remember the PUA bike rider, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was that the guy? Wait a minute. Was that the guy that he had like a GoPro on him and he was going around like POV view approaching girls?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
And the reactions that they gave him, it was so insane. They just gave him rude looks, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying is how that's what I'm trying to say is I mean, most of these girls seem like they're stuck up. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of is just because he's ethnic and because maybe he can get her more subscribers and more viewers to her thing.
Yeah, it's basically based off that because I've used my picture. I did a Tinder in the UK and I didn't get no matches in the UK. So I'm thinking that has to be it because he has status. So.
Yeah, there are some. I mean, I was watching these live streamers the other day. They had 2,000 viewers. Some of them were probably bots, and these dots in Vegas were like really impressed. They were like, they went live with them, and they kept bringing this guy over. It was drunk, and they were just trying to plug their Instagram. They weren't gonna fuck him, obviously, but they just wanted the clout. But Mexican Andy got arrested in Scotland for causing a scene in a bar, and I think the guy has his phone. But once again, most people on this channel don't know about Mexican. But let me ask you one last question and we'll wrap this up. And if you want to do a part 2, maybe we'll go live and have people call in if you want to do that soon. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't mind doing a part 2, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But the last question is, what is your current dating situation? Like, some MGTOW guys, still date and they still try to get laid. Do you still try to get laid and date, or are you just completely done?
I've got laid recently. I kind of did, but
nice.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is it's very hard. Like that's why I'm saying it's very hard. MGTOW guys, they're MGTOW. They're sent their own way. And MGTOWs, Chads don't go MGTOW. I mean, the whole thing. That's what I'm saying is I don't believe none of the MGTOWs guys. If that's true, then they wouldn't be making any content. They're like, if they are, then why are they talking about this shit? why are they hating on? I mean, not hating on, but why are they, saying this about female nature, saying this? If you're a MGTOW, represent your brand. Don't be saying this stuff like saying that they're dating, in which they're not. How they're saying, oh, go make that's a whole MGTOW thing. That's what I'm saying is they don't MGTOWs don't understand their own philosophy. Like, I understand the MGTOW philosophy in my own self because, I mean that's why it's called the MGTOW philosophy. It's a philosophy because you're representing your own self as a man, your own value. So I don't believe if they're dating, then why are they making MGTOW content? You know what I'm saying? They're going MGTOW for a reason.
Yeah, see, I got confused. I thought MGTOW when I first got into it. People told me, you're not good enough to be MGTOW, and MGTOWs are guys who choose to go their own way. You're a guy who got sent his own way, and you're really an incel. And I didn't realize that. I didn't know that. But I was like, well, how many guys out there actually are getting laid and they got their shit together and they're good looking? I was like, why would they even know about MGTOW? If you're getting laid so much, I don't know why a guy would go MGTOW. I mean,
same thing. Let's say like a guy is blackpill, he can get laid. I mean, blackpill's not incel. Blackpill is basically, understanding, like I said, female nature, understanding certain females, like who to deal with, not to get rejected. That's why I'm saying is blackpill, MGTOW. They're the same thing. They're basically the same thing. So it's there. If you can figure, for me, I know how I fused it together. The blackpill, MGTOW. It makes a lot of sense, basically.
So do you think that MGTOW, incel? I mean, what's the expression? They say that guys who claim that they're MGTOW are actually incels in denial.
Repeat it. I'm sorry. Repeat it again.
They say that MGTOWs are incels in denial.
It depends. It depends. If they're not getting laid and they're trying to represent as a MGTOW, then yeah, they're incels in denial.
Well, I guess that's what I am, folks. I'm an incel in denial. I mean, here's the thing. That people ask me if I'm incel. I said the only reason I say I'm not incel is because I don't blame women for my problems. Number one. And number two, to me, a true definition of an incel is a guy who just says, oh, I can't get a girlfriend. He just mopes all the time, oh, I can't get laid and stuff. And, I've made videos and stuff, but I would never whine all day and complain and, and blame women. I take responsibility. I was like, it's not women's fault I got fat. It's not their fault I live at home. It's not their fault that I eat like shit. It's not their fault that, I've whatever, not such a good personality, blah, blah, blah. I don't blame them for that. The only thing I blame them for is their own lack of accountability. But nonetheless, people
that's something different. That is true. I mean, a lot of women, they have the advantage. They have so much money. They're so broke. You know what I'm saying?
They all have OnlyFans now. They're all making $12,000 a month from incels and lonely guys out there. They're making lots of money just.
Yeah, I've never invested in OnlyFans. I would never do that because, it's like a cut thing. It's like, that's what I'm saying is if you're gonna pay for a woman's video, like, why don't you just get a fucking hooker? Why don't you just get if you get a prostitute, I mean, it's a lot better. Like, okay, I'm gonna kind of backpedal, but still, that's what I'm saying is I mean, that's why I won't pay for a hooker. Why would I want to pay for, if I'm not paying for escort, why would I want to pay for OnlyFans?
Yeah, I said the same thing too. I was like, you might as well go to, because some of these guys buy them cars and everything's crazy. But listen, I want to thank you for reaching out to me, and also thank you for doing this interview. We'll do a part 2 soon. Maybe we'll do it live on the channel. Probably get some troll calls, but hey, that's the internet for you. And yeah, man, it was good talking to you.
All right, cool. Thank you, man. See you later.
All right, see ya. That was Catfishman, everybody. Pod Jak'd. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Went longer than, not to say I didn't want to go too long, but it went a little bit too long. But you know what? That's fine. I rarely get guests on the show. And I hope you guys, once again, enjoyed it. Pod Jak'd.